Hello and welcome to our latest edition of our Business Spotlight series. Today I'm delighted to be joined by Reeve from Reeve Social Media. Hi Chris, how are you?
Very good, thank you. How are you?
Really well, thank you. And it's great to have you with us today. It would be great to start with, Chris, just to hear a little bit about what you do at Reeve Social Media, if you're happy to share with us.
Sure. My name's Reeve. I'm the managing director of Reeve Social Media, and we help businesses and people build their brands and bottom lines through the power of organic social media. It's as simple as that, really. Our business tagline is making social simple. Me, myself, and I'm very passionate about supporting local businesses, so those in and around the sort of East Anglia region. However, I work with national and now international businesses and business people too. I'm an ambassador for Big C, which is a local Norfolk-based cancer charity, supporting people and families affected by cancer. And for my sins, I'm also a massive Norwich City fan. So if anyone in this community watching this is an Ipswich fan, I do apologise in advance.
I love how you just put your colours out there straight away, Chris. It's
Probably
great.
done.
And so how long has the business been running?
So I'm now just over 2 years, but actually that's only like officially, if that makes sense. So I've been doing social media right from when I was a kid, and I was first starting and getting a taste for entrepreneurship and what it meant. So rewinding all the way back to when I had my first job, when I was a kitchen porter in Brook at a pub called the King's Head. Going home with hands stinking of fish and all sorts of and beans and all sorts of stuff. But I was doing social media on the side, you see, Jenny, and I was working with all sorts of local independents, running whether it be just their Facebook or their Twitter, or I remember I had my first ever deal was with my barber. And I did. It was for £70 and cash in hand, and a free haircut. So that was my first ever one. And so I've been doing it forever, right? So it actually doing it wasn't necessarily a scary leap, but officially where it got a bit scary would be just over 2 years now. And I've honestly loved every minute of it, to be fair. Of course, there's been some lessons along the way, which I'm sure we'll get into, but that's how long I've been in the game. Over a decade at least in social media marketing, agency side, and also obviously running my own business as well. So I've seen it all.
I'm sure you have. And so over those last 2 years, obviously you've built up a range of clients, I'm sure. Tell us a bit more about your ideal client, what they look like.
Oh, that's an interesting one, because I'm still sort of learning my ICP, Jane, to be fair. But I think for me, the clients that I'm loving working with, and I'm getting more and more come to me more than ever before now, are non-execs, managing directors. I'd call them maybe outwardly facing individuals in an organization. So often people that are in sales management roles, things like that, people that need to be active on LinkedIn, etc., getting themselves out there, building a personal brand, becoming the thought leader in their sector. It's such an important part to obviously build trust with your prospects, which is the purpose of social, right? To speed up the process between prospect and customer. And we can do that by establishing trust online. And so those are the people that I'm loving working with, which have got more clients of that ilk than ever before. But to be honest with you, I also love working with the small businesses, and I guess our setup of services sort of reflects that sort of flexibility, because we work with really small businesses and startup businesses. Often they do something called one-to-one coaching with us. So that's a case of doing a live social media audit. And then you have 2 accountability sessions as well, where we teach you the tips and tricks of content creation, tools and techniques, etc. But it's a bit like the headmaster's office. So we tell you off if you haven't done it yet, which helps. We also do consultancy as well, which is often people like in, I'd say, marketing management roles would approach me to actually talk directly to the business, going on site, doing it in person, something that people are a bit scared of doing these days, seemingly, which I'm more than happy to do. So that's normally a half day of intense social media geekness. And then we do full scale management as well. So our services reflect the fact that we do work with all sorts of different people. And I love that, because I didn't want to set up my business where I only catered to one specific personal market, if that makes sense. Because I want to have fun whilst I'm here. And I find it incredibly fun, and actually more importantly, super fulfilling when we've taken someone from that coaching position up to consultancy and then into full scale management. So actually there's 3 of our current clients have actually grown through that process. So they sort of dip their toe in, and then we've almost sort of created a beast that they need to feed to then obviously then build their business from there. So yeah, does that answer that question?
It certainly does, absolutely. And there's obviously a huge amount of variety there in what you do. What for you is the best thing about running your own business?
Wow. I would just say the people I work with, which I know is a bit of a cop-out answer, but I've I guess the thing that I hated about employment was having to work with people and also obviously client side as well, where you're just not particularly interested, or the energy's not right there, or it almost feels as if it's like a tick box exercise. Whereas for me, I absolutely love the energy exchange when I'm chatting to someone, when I'm helping them, when they're helping themselves, when they really value the advice that they're given, when they trust us to execute on their behalf. And of course, when we get great results for them, right, and they see their engagement go up, when we sell £180,000, care pods. That was just a random example. When we sell a boat for them, when we sell, all of these high ticket items, and it's like, oh yeah, that's really, really cool. So I'd say the people, I love that. And I love the flexibility, right? I think that's one of the amazing things about starting your business. And obviously it's a scary thing to do, but when you're at that point, being able to actually properly prioritize your health and your lifestyle. So, I'm really passionate about my fitness. So, really making sure I'm prioritizing that and then building my work around that has actually made me more successful and has improved the business turnover and profits as well. So, that's probably one for that one.
Brilliant, fantastic. And I think you alluded to it at the beginning as well, but there have been some learnings along the way. What would you say are the biggest challenges you find in running the business at the moment?
Maybe the challenges that everyone else finds, to be honest with you. Every now and then we kiss a few frogs, right? Because we assume positive intent and we speak to everyone. I think the thing that I've learned is the importance of delegation. I've been quite good at that from the off. So making sure that you're working with people that are better than you at the things that you're not very good at. I know that's so starter pack advice, but I think it's really important. I see so many business owners that are crippled by keeping it as their baby and they can't let someone in. Whereas actually, if you properly train someone up to help support you in that area and you give them all the information and empowerment to do it, it can hugely improve things. But the thing that keeps knocking on my door, Jenny, all the time is trust your gut. And I know it's cliche, but every time I've gone into a situation, whether it be with someone that I'm not like, I'm certain they're just trying to get price and then obviously pitch you against someone else. They ask you loads of questions. I call them arscoles, dare I say. They ask you loads of questions, but they don't do anything with it, or they're never listening because they just want the price and they're going to go away. So, you get that. I use this word energy a lot, but I'm sure you'll know what I mean, Jen. Like, when you trust someone, when you don't trust someone, and I think trusting your gut has been something that, has stung me a couple of times in these first couple of years and more. There's been a few occasions where I've gone, oh, Chris, you shouldn't have done that. But, it's just because I'm so passionate about helping people, sometimes that's taken advantage of, if that makes sense. So I think finding that balance there is quite important.
Yeah, really important stuff. And that idea of trusting your gut, I mean, it's great advice to other people who are maybe watching and listening to this as well. I mean, thinking about if you were to give any further advice to someone who's thinking about starting up on their own, maybe a bit nervous about dipping their toe in the water, what would you say to them about starting your own business?
I think investing in a really good accountant is really important. Someone that can just do the numbers for you, which is obviously one of the most, if not the most critical part, right? someone that you trust implicitly, being brave with it, spending more than you probably need to just to make sure it's done properly. I think that's a really solid foundation to work upon. So I think that's important. I mean, something that I didn't do, but something that I would implore other people to think about is there's so much time wasted with wishy-washy stuff that doesn't actually make an impact. Just start. And that goes, by the way, for not just business, but micro stuff like your social media and your marketing strategies as well, your websites. People are just spending hours upon hours about fluffy stuff that just doesn't move the needle, Jenny. And it honestly, it kills me how much time is wasted in the boardroom. And ultimately, if you're able to be as agile as possible, I think that's important. So I didn't waste any time with that nonsense. I just got on with it and then adapted as I went. So I think that would be another piece of advice that I would give to other people. I see people like changing like their brand stuff all the time and their logo and their website. And it's like, well, hang on a minute, but you're not even driving any traffic to it yet. Do you know what I mean? There's all of these little things. I'm just like, that would be key for me. That would be something that I would really, really focus on. But I'd say the main one is making sure your numbers are in order is absolutely critical, obviously.
Very good advice. And if we look to the future, then what are your aspirations for the business over the next 3 to 5 years?
Do you know, I'd love to work. I'd love to work with more managing directors. I'd love to work with people that are based internationally as well as locally and nationally. At the moment, my split is very much local to national, but I'd like to take that from national to local. Obviously, still looking after local people, of course. I don't want to leave those guys in the lurk, but I think working with national and international would be of massive interest to myself. But really, I'm a bit different to maybe some people that you might speak to, Jenny, in the sense of like, I don't have these big, greedy, particularly ambitious aspirations, which sounds a bit weird, but I think just the personal journey that I've been on in my life with the loss of my mum when I was 14 and things like that is that I'm just so grateful and blessed with what I've got. And, I can go on my 2 holidays once a year. I've got my house, I'm paying my mortgage. And so, I don't want to grow this big bulky beast that, maybe doesn't do things properly. I want to really look after people. There's times where we reach capacity where I have to turn people away. And, I'm okay with that because I don't want to say yes to things that I can't genuinely do properly to the fullest of my ability and our team's ability too. So, yeah, I'd say that's it. And I know that might not be the motivational message that you're looking for, but that's the truth. And I think more noise needs to be made around that, right? I think having comfort and calm and control can actually lead to much better results. I think people try to sort of sprint before they're even walking in business quite often because, even friends of friends that I have, and they're all like, right, Chris, you need to be employing 5 people now and this vision and that people and get an investor and do this and do that. I'm like, no. I want to take my time. Slow and steady wins the race. And it's so true. And so, yeah, not the motivational message you're looking for, but those
No,
aspirations. I want to keep doing the right thing for the next 5 years and not be greedy with it.
no, I think there's so much motivation that can be found in truth, as you say, Chris. It's so important. And it has been an absolute pleasure talking to you today. For anyone who would like to find out more about Reeve social media, where should they go?
LinkedIn is my main social media platform for myself and also my business. So obviously my name is Chris Reeve, REEVE. Feel free to drop me a DM on there. I will be judging you on how you do that though, because obviously I'm a social media guy. So if you want to get my attention, you might choose to maybe leave a video message or a DM rather than just a standard text message. So that would be good. Obviously, feel free to use the traditional methods such as my website, reevesocialmedia.co.uk. Or just drop me an email, chris@reevesocialmedia.co.uk. But honestly, any preferred method is fine. Although I always, the great thing is when my clients are on board, we tend to stop wasting time with long corporate emails, which no one wants to send. We just jump on WhatsApps and we send each other voice notes and things like that. It's so much faster. So just feel free to hit me up however you best please.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much. And Chris, wishing you all the very best for the future of the business.
Thanks for the opportunity, Jenny. Thank you.